As a pharmaceutical company, you invested in Microsoft Copilot to make your knowledge accessible across your organization. The system you were sold isn't built to do that job. Your organization runs on precise, heavily documented knowledge. Your standard operating procedures, clinical trial data, regulatory submissions, quality management documents, and pharmacovigilance records. The accuracy of that information is not a productivity concern for you. It's a compliance concern. Microsoft Copilot wasn't designed with your environment in mind. When your teams search your document library, the system only surfaces a small number of results before generating an answer, which means across your thousands of regulatory and clinical documents, most of what you have built never even gets considered. That's right. Your teams are ineffectively searching for keyword rather than a vector search. So your documents that contain the right answer but use slightly different language simply do not appear. Your tables, forms, and structured document layouts get scrambled when the system processes them, making the formatted content your teams depend on unreadable. The document classification and version tracking your teams have carefully maintained over years are invisible to the system. And when something goes wrong with how your documents load, you actually receive no notification and no record of what was missed. You see, we rebuilt this knowledge layer for a large pharmaceutical organization in Germany using a smarter system that runs entirely on their existing Microsoft infrastructure. Your documents get read in full. Your tables and formatting stay intact. Your team's questions get answered based on meaning, not just matching keywords. And your entire knowledge base refreshes automatically every 15 to 20 minutes, or really however you want to define it, rather than a few days. Every document is accounted for, every search is traceable, nothing disappears silently. As a pharmaceutical company, a knowledge retrieval failure is not a help desk inconvenience for you. It's a compliance exposure. When your regulatory affairs team can't surface the correct version of an SOP, or when your quality auditors can't locate the right document during an inspection, or when your teams work from incomplete information because the system quietly missed something. You see, your consequences are not measured in lost productivity. They are measured in audit findings, regulatory risk, and in the worst cases, patient safety. You deployed Microsoft Copilot to prevent exactly that. The knowledge layer underneath it needs to be rebuilt on your own infrastructure, with your own data under your full control. That is exactly what we built for a large multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical company, and it's fully replicable for your organization in less than 6 weeks. You see, the problems that you're facing are not unique to you. They're actually experienced by many organizations across the world. Everyone who's running Microsoft Copilot right now is having very similar issues. And in fact, I've gone to the internet. It's something that you could do. You may have already heard it from your people within the organization. But when I go to Reddit, I see comments like this. It fails to do any of the things that would actually make it helpful and generally sucks. Talking about Microsoft Copilot. It's insane, another user says. I've never seen anything as bad in any AI. And so the general consensus is this. You have incredible tools out there that are doing wonderful things and increasing efficiency and output for organizations that have the capability to allow their people to use tools that are more specific built, like Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity. Those are also more generic tools. They're at least more refined and have a better specific purpose for what they're capable of. Microsoft Copilot is like the most generic and vanilla AI that you could possibly use. And the things that you think that it should do, which is allow you access to all the information that you have within your Microsoft ecosystem, it's actually competing with a lot of the other parameters that Microsoft has to watch out for. So Microsoft Copilot isn't necessarily a tool that is best for gathering information, analyzing that information. It actually has to take into account a number of different things that are blocking it from producing the best results. And again, you're not the only one. In fact, we recently there's a client use case, just finished working with them. It's a large $50 billion pharmaceutical company based in Germany. They had a full tech team. They even had an AI developer. But it wasn't until we were able to go in and build our infrastructure that basically flattened all of the files. We took over about 1,200 different files, built this infrastructure, connected it in a way that allowed this organization to take full advantage of their Microsoft ecosystem. And it was that unlock in this time that really made all of their information much more valuable. All of a sudden, within about 4 weeks, that was the lead lead time that it took us to develop this, they had access to every single document, every single PDF, every intranet website they had ever built. It was just being recorded and indexed and put into a vector search the way that it should be. We have an ability to basically build this the way it should have been, but the way that it can't be because it's an out-of-the-box sort of vanilla feature. Again, Microsoft is giving you the sort of the generic form of their tools. They have other tools that are very capable. And in fact, that's one of the other benefits of this is when we build this infrastructure and this system for you, we're not going to outside tools. We don't go and pick another vendor and do some integration that might compromise your data. We actually use the tools that Microsoft provides, but we just have sort of what, if you will, a unique tech stack that allows us to take full advantage of things like RAG databases, vector search, semantic search, all these things. Basically, one of the things that people, if you again go into the internet, onto Reddit, platforms like that, you just see that there's so much limitation in terms of what Microsoft Copilot out of the box allows someone to do. It's like, you would think that it would be able to analyze your emails, or it would be able to go out and search documents that you've created, or even that people in your organization have created that would be useful. But it just seems to be very limited, and people don't understand why. And again, it's really the limitation of the tool itself, and that out of the box, they aren't giving you, the Ferrari to build that. And that's what we've accomplished. That's what we've done for clients already. We have these use cases. In fact, one of the things that we'd like to share, if anyone is interested, click the link below and it'll take you to that. But it's something that these are problems that thankfully can be solved within weeks. This isn't a year-long project anymore. With the advent of AI, a lot of these things are being accomplished very quickly. And so it's taking your infrastructure and all your information that you already own in this ecosystem that you've already built, that all your users are used to using on a daily basis. It is the Microsoft platform. And instead of relegating your employees to this kind of useless tool where you might have thought as an organization, goodness, like we were so excited about AI, we can't wait for it to really do all these things. And you've heard it. You hear it all the time. You hear it from different people, maybe even from competitors in your organization, and surely within different industries. AI is doing some incredible things, but the problem is how it's set up and what it's allowed to do, what it's allowed to reference, what the LLM is trained on. And again, in this particular case, there's no extra tools that we need to build. There's no application, no other UI. It's really about how we engineer the data, how we tie together all of the data that already exists, and how we utilize the tools that are available in Microsoft and organize them in a way that allows you to utilize all of your data in the best way possible. And really, it's an incredible unlock when it comes to the efficiency and what organizations are trying to do that, again, have built decades of their infrastructure and decades of their business processes in this Microsoft platform. So, I just would love the opportunity to share more information with you. So definitely reach out if there's anything more to elucidate or just discuss about how this can really benefit. The unlock and the true power behind this, once it's integrated, is that it really is what you thought Microsoft Copilot was going to do, and be able to analyze all your documents and pull things in, give you really good assessments, and allow it to be very creative, but also accurate with your information. This is the infrastructure that we have built